I started making money online about 2 years ago, and since then I've made over $700,000 at the age of 24. All of this without any luck, without betting on meme coins or doing anything out of the ordinary. Just having the correct knowledge and systems have allowed me to do this. I went from my first agency falling flat on its face with issues with my business partner to my next agency hitting $100,000 in 1 month in just 11 months. This gives me the confidence to make this video and share with you the 5 lessons that I've learned and what you need to implement into your agency, coaching business or consultancy to hit these big numbers. I'm literally going to give away these 5 step-by-step lessons, so if you listen very carefully and implement these in your agency, you're guaranteed to see success. Now I've started a mentorship program. I would normally charge for this sort of information, but I'm going to give it away completely for free. And I don't want you to overlook the importance of this information because it actually helped one of my friends, Mim, get to $10,000 a month after I spent some time with him in Greece and went over these systems. But before we get into the video, get a pen, get a notepad, cut out the distractions, and let's get into it. So the number one thing that you actually need to start making money online through your agency is a specific offer. You need to make a specific offer to a specific type of audience. This is usually the first place that everyone goes wrong. They try and throw as much stuff against the wall and see what sticks. But this isn't actually how you should do it. The reason being, if you try and do a little bit of everything, you actually end up achieving nothing. So you might think that, oh, I can do SEO, I can also do lead gen, I can also do paid ads, and I can target realtors as well as insurance companies, as well as recruitment agencies. The reality is, if you just stick with one service and one avatar, you'll get so much further. This is exactly how you create a specific offer. You just pick one type of avatar. So that's basically the industry that you want to help, one type of person. It could be fitness coaches. And then you have one specific offer to them. It could be helping build their Instagram page, generate them more leads through paid ads. It could be helping set up referral schemes. Whatever your service is, just try not to dilute it too much. Because the reality is only big businesses that already make millions can start to add more services. If you have tons of services and you offer loads of services, you're just going to create tons of confusion in your prospect's mind. They're not going to be sure what to actually go with. Whereas if you just have one service to one type of client, it makes it much easier for you as well as easier for the prospect to understand. So you actually end up closing more deals. Now, when I first started, I wasn't sure what the very best market and the very best service to be actually doing was. But the reality was you just need to pick one thing and stick at it because all of them are pretty much the same. I started doing social media for recruitment agencies and I realized it wasn't working out as well as I wanted it to. So I simply just pivoted to doing lead gen, getting them more leads for the same market. And it worked just fine. So I just stuck with one thing, tested it out for a little bit, realized, oh, it wasn't optimal, so then went to the other. So that's what I'd recommend. Pick one avatar and one type of service and just stick with that, market that out, get your clients, and then adapt from there. The second most important thing that you need to make money online is traffic. This is actually where online business has some similarities to a real in-person business. So for example, take a coffee shop in London, in the middle of London, next to a train station, right? They could have pretty shit coffee. And if you're going to cafes in and around train stations and busy places, you probably had one of these. They probably weren't the best. But the reality is they make so many more sales than like a small cafe in a hometown would because they're getting more traffic, they're getting more footfall, they're getting more people walk past the shop every single day. And there's going to be a percentage of those that are really thirsty or need a boost, so they get a coffee and they go into the shop and purchase it. But the shop has positioned themselves to attract that traffic. So it may not be the best coffee in the world, but they're still going to make many, many more sales than a cafe in the middle of nowhere. And it's exactly the same with your offer. If you create the best website in the world, the best VSL, the best Instagram page, but if no one's seeing it, how do you expect to make sales? No one's just going to magically stumble across your profile. And if they do, it'll be 1 in a million. You need to generate traffic. And I personally watch a lot of Daniel Fazio. I think he's great. He says there's 3 types of ways that you can generate traffic for your online business, right? To cold audiences. This is going to be creating content. It could be cold outreach, so directly reaching out to people that you want to work with, or it could be running advertising. That could be Google or Facebook ads. Most people don't really like to do cold outreach, but the truth is I actually grew my agency to $100,000 cash collected in 1 month just by doing cold outreach. So it 100% works. And if you're wondering what sort of scripts, tools, systems that I use to achieve that, click the link below to learn more about how I done this. But overall, you just need to be acquiring traffic for the business, whether it's content, whether it's ads, whether it's outreach. Just do whatever you can, what makes sense for you at that point in time, and stick with it. Ads make a bit more sense if you have more capital to spend, if you have a bit more cash. Content and outreach are more so if you don't want to spend too much money, but you have the time to do it, you can put the time and effort into those. But test it out and see how it goes. The third most important thing that you need is once you start getting traffic, you need a conversion mechanism. Now, just because you're getting visitors and you're getting traffic doesn't mean that people are actually going to buy from you. You need conversion mechanisms in place to achieve this. A conversion mechanism would look something like a funnel, where people come in at the top of the funnel, then they have to go to the next step, which could be booking a call with you. Then they actually have to show up to the call, speak to you, and then maybe sign a contract, collect payment, and get started. So effectively, the funnel is all the steps along the process to turn someone from being a cold prospect into a paying customer. It's effectively taking your customer on a journey with that end goal in mind. Most people actually even struggle to get the booked call in the first place though. So there's no point optimizing for your proposal automation sequence, because unless you're in that position, then it's not really gonna serve you very well. Most people struggle with actually getting people to book on the call in the first place. They struggle to convert that lead into a call. The best way to do this in 2025 is going to be a VSL, or a video sales letter. You can create one of these and explain your service, what you do, how you help your prospects, what their fears are, what their desires are, what their dreams are, and really speak to them and sell them effectively on this VSL. Explain to them why they'd be missing out if they don't book a call with yourself. This is so much more powerful than just sending messages, sending text reminders, or sending emails, because they actually get to see you and they get to buy into you. So create a VSL for your offer, and that will definitely help you book more calls if you're currently struggling to book calls. The fourth thing to have in place to make money online is, of course, sales. You need to have a sales process and you need to have a sales system. It's all good, once again, getting all these calls booked in your calendar, ramping up your calendar like I have with mine. But if you're not good at turning these bookings into revenue, then your business, once again, will not grow. So learning sales was the thing for me that genuinely changed my life. It made my business start accelerating at a rate that I'd never seen before. Just because I really mastered the skill of getting people on sales calls through the stuff I've mentioned, through acquiring traffic and creating highly converting funnels. But then as soon as I had them on the call, I struggled. I couldn't get them to actually commit. I couldn't get them to pay. Maybe it was a lack of credibility, but as soon as I started learning sales and diving into it and having a framework, I started to make a hell of a lot more money. Now, one of the things that helped me with sales was this sort of methodology, way of thinking about sales calls. Now, the way I take my sales calls is actually not, I don't jump on the call to try and sell someone. The way I take it, and this is probably what you should do too, is position yourself like a doctor. Someone's come to you with some sort of injury, right? Or some sort of illness, and they want to be cured. It could be the illness, could be that they're not booking any sales calls, they're struggling to make money, right? And you're the doctor that's gonna prescribe a cure for them. So like a doctor would, you need to ask questions and diagnose what the problem actually is. The prospect will be talking, oh, how much do you charge? What's this? You say, whoa. Before we get into anything, I need to understand exactly how I can help you, right? So you start asking questions about where they are currently, where they want to be, and effectively your job is to build that gap and show them that they can't actually get there themselves and that they would need you or your service to help bridge the gap. Sales is the cornerstone to any successful business. So if you want to start growing your agency, you need to spend time into optimizing your sales process. As soon as you get to a decent level of revenue, maybe $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 a month, I'd recommend hiring appointment setters and closers to boost your front end even more. But if you're just doing this by yourself, then you need to take that frame of a doctor, be a consultant, really try and help someone, show them where they're at, show them where they want to be, and tell them, look, realistically, you're not going to be able to get there yourself, otherwise you would have done it. And you probably need this service that you'd be selling to help them get there. But if you frame your sales calls like this, you'll find your prospects will be much more open to speaking with you and much more likely to close as well. And the fifth most important thing to have when you're making money online is retention mechanisms. So you're acquiring clients, you're getting loads of money in the bank. Now you need to actually make sure those customers keep paying you. This was something when I very first started my agency that I overlooked. I thought as soon as I started making my online money, it would just keep coming and coming and coming. But the truth is, it doesn't. You probably work so hard to get a client or a customer over the line that it's imperative that you keep them happy and make them stay for the long term. So retention mechanisms would be something like including data reporting, tracking, and maybe weekly calls with your clients. Because I've broken this down in another video, but if you actually do the maths and you figure out how much it costs to get on one client in terms of time and effort, it's so much more scalable if you can just keep that client paying for 12 months as opposed to get a new client every 4 months to replace them, right? So if you can keep clients for longer, your business will start to exponentially scale, especially if you've got them on that monthly recurring revenue. A little tip of advice that I've noticed, honestly, most business relationships are built off personal relationships. If you can build a bond with someone, it's much more likely that you'll be in business with them for longer. So focus on relationship, put the time and effort in at the start, and that is honestly a retention mechanism itself. You'll find that you extract more LTV, which is lifetime value, of your clients when you actually build a bond and a relationship with them. So there you go, that's how I've made over $700,000 online at 24. Now the truth is, this YouTube video doesn't mean anything unless you actually implement the actions I've told you today. Because between me and you, you've probably watched hundreds of videos like this and not actually implemented the exact systems. And this isn't because you can't do it, it just takes time and it takes knowledge to put the right things in place. Because if you had all the information you needed, everyone would be getting super rich off YouTube. So this is the exact reason I've put together my one-to-one mentoring sessions to help a few people hit their first $10,000 and $100,000 months online. I've put together an exact roadmap that will lead you to success, giving you all the SOPs, all the documents, and all the frameworks that I've used in my agency to scale it to $100,000 a month. So if this does sound interesting to you and you want to work with me directly one-on-one, and I've put a link in the description where you can book a call with myself and we can see if you're a good fit. So let's hit your business goals together. I'll speak to you soon. Take care.